purpose of this space is to create a very safe environment for people to share a moment of their lives.
Matatagpuan sa 104 and 138 na may higit sa 300 sasakyan, brand new and pre-owned, ay pwede niyong pagpipilian. Bago ka pa sa bansa, wala ka pang credit score, walang problema. Marami kaming selection from all makes and models, and all trade-ins are welcome. Higit pang impormasyon sa sirmitsubishi.com.
Located one block north of St. Paul's Hospital, Downtown Denture Center features complete and partial teeth restoration options. With 35 years experience, Anthony Chung offers mobile services and emergency repair consultation 24 hours a day. Downtown Denture Center, just off Nelson at 970 Burrard in the lobby of the Electra Building. Foodie World has 75,000 square feet of imported and domestic products, with a large selection dedicated to our Filipino kababayans. With an in-house butcher, variety of seafood, and produce from around the globe. Open every day until midnight. Foodie World, one block east of number 3 Road off Sea Island Way in Richmond. Centrally located in the Richmond Auto Mall since 1984, Richmond Honda features a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles. Inside the showroom, Honda's newest models are displayed for viewing, and the dealership is staffed 7 days a week for financial consultation.
All the stories that you're going to hear tonight are personal in nature, some of which can encroach on dark topics as addiction, abuse, self-harm. And you may get triggered by them. And if you do, there's a beautiful lounge to the back of XY that you can go down, chill out, get your composure. When you're ready, you can come and join us. Welcome to my story. My name is Winston Young, and I'll be your host for tonight. That's my favorite part of the whole show right there. Understanding how to love. That takes humans an entire lifetime to do. Kismet was 3 months old, and I believe it. So with that story, I understood I have to learn to speak the language of love, because obviously I don't know how. So we'll take that as a segue to introduce our next two speakers. At My Story Mondays first, I'm going to have two speakers share the stage at the same time. So I'm going to go get the mic. And I invite Joe Prescott and Chris Dube to the stage to share their story.
It's actually Chris Dube, by the way.
That's right.
Just to correct that a little bit. Can you snuggle up a little closer?
Always. Now and later.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
So I've spoken on this stage a couple times before, and when Winston said, "Will you come back?" I said, "Can I bring him?" So here we are together, and we were talking about what we might talk about, and we thought maybe we'd share a little bit about our relationship and what it's brought for us. So we're going to talk a little bit about what was going on for both of us before we met, and then we've each prepared a few questions for each other that the other one doesn't know about.
That's right, bombshells.
So it could get interesting. We'll see.
All right. I'm a cool guy. Why am I alone in this basement? God knows I'm good. God knows that I need a woman in my life. Where is this beautiful woman? What's happening in my life? What's wrong with me? I'm cool. Everything is good. I think I'm ready. God knows exactly the kind of woman that I need. At some point, I should meet this woman on the street, and the angels will just shine a light on her, and she'll be the one. That was me. So that was my dating experience at that time. I was single, and my whole thing was put it out to the universe, and the universe will bring you what you need. It didn't happen. Sorry.
Yeah. He found out very quickly that you actually have to take an action behind your intention, otherwise nothing actually moves. But
Yeah. What actually happened, a guy at work started going online. He went on Tinder, he went on, what was the other one that we met on? Okay, Cupid. And all of a sudden, I'm the same age as the guy, and he came back with stories like, wow, I met this lady, and I met the other lady. Got 5, 6 ladies interested in me, and I'm thinking, okay, something is different about this guy. All of a sudden, he was happier. He used to be like a stressed guy, but just the idea of connecting with potential mates out there just shifted his whole perspective. He became a different guy. And I'm thinking, man, I really have to do something. I can't just sit around and wait for it to happen. I actually have to be out there, put my name on. So I created an account, went online, put my name out there, and all of a sudden, things started to happen. But we didn't connect with this beautiful lady right away. One of the interesting things that happened immediately was there are so many people out there waiting to just connect, just to say hello. I got a lot of advice from a wonderful woman in another place in town, and basically she gave me coaching tips. Okay, this is the things you have to watch for. Look out for these sorts of people. And I was very thankful.
It's like she took one look at him and went, oh, he's going to be in trouble in here.
Yeah, just a puppy waiting for the pickings. But it didn't happen. And still, for a while there, I was just waiting for somebody to still show up. So, but I put out an honest outline of who I really was out there. So I really still was feeling it's important to connect with somebody really, really truthfully in terms of who I was. So just put it out there and left it.
I, on the other hand, was dating a lot. I had no problem being on dating sites and dating different people. And just before I had met Chris, I had been dating someone for a while, but it was quite evident that it was not going to go anywhere. And so we had literally just broken off about 2 nights before. And Andrea and I, at that time, were roommates. And she's a dating coach. And she said, well, have you ever tried OkCupid? And I said, I think I've been on that site at one point. So we went to look to see if I still had a profile. And I did, along with about 82 messages that I'd never responded to.
Yay, me.
So we just started cruising the pictures as you do. And I come upon this very good-looking man whose profile says that he does yoga, that he's into consciousness and spirituality, and he's looking for a woman who's ready for a relationship.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I actually said is, I'm looking for somebody who wants to take the rest of this journey together. And got a message, asked for a kindred soul. I say, one of the last sentences I put out there was, I'm looking for somebody who's a kindred soul, because I feel like I'd been gymped by looking for people that were too different from me. I'm just was tired of that game. I wanted somebody who really would complement who I am. So I've got a question for you. So I got not right now, but I got a one-liner from her, and she said, I sense a kindred soul. And I'm thinking, okay, so what's next? Is that all?
That was it. I figured that was good enough. Yes. So I did send them that, and I don't know, how long till you responded to me?
I think I probably responded to you right away, and we just started corresponding.
Yeah.
Well, chatting.
We started talking on the
Yeah.
phone. Yeah. So we talked for a few days, and obviously we were really connected. We had a lot in common. We had a lot of interests in common, and he was really good looking, and we had a lot to talk about, and he was really good looking. And he did yoga. So at one point, about 4 days after we were talking, I said to him, I got to ask you something, and I'd spoken to Andrea about this as well. I said, I actually don't know if he's physically attracted to me or if he just wants to be friends. Because any other women in the house been on the dating sites and had all of the, like, right? all of the first questions from the men about, hey, baby, you're hot, and wanting to know what kind of things you do in bed and things like that. That's normal. This guy, there was nothing about that, nothing. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong here. So something's really off.
But there wasn't.
Why isn't he asking me for my measurements? Like, what's happening here? So he responded.
The truth of the matter is I was already cruising at pictures and looking. So I already had a very good sense of the kind of person that she was. But what threw me with that question was, why am I getting aroused from somebody that I've never really physically met? And this was just from our conversations. So I didn't want to own up. I didn't want to own up right away. But eventually I actually did. And I told her, I don't know why, but I'm getting, because of our conversations. And we've never really met. And you might have to edit that out. But
don't edit that out.
First Rate Motors features 2 acres of previously owned vehicles available for viewing every day. First Rate Motors, 15685 Fraser Highway in Surrey. Cowley and Company, car accident lawyers representing personal injury and disability victims in the Lower Mainland. A former chiropractor, Lee Cowley has more than 20 years' experience as an attorney in BC. Locations include Abbotsford and Burnaby, with a head office in Surrey, on 104 Avenue at 138th Street.
Marami kaming selection from all makes and models, and all trade-ins are welcome. Bago ka ba sa bansa, wala ka pang credit score, walang problema. Garantisado ang financing, plus meron kaming certified warranty technicians for all your services and repairs. Matatagpuan sa 104 and 138 and at surreymitsubishi.com.
All the stories that you're going to hear tonight are personal in nature, some of which can encroach on dark topics as addiction, abuse, self-harm, and you may get triggered by them. And if you do, there's a beautiful lounge to the back of XY that you can go down, chill out, get your composure. When you're ready, you can come and join us.
Don't edit that out.
And
it's okay.
So we're connecting at another level that I couldn't quite figure out, and I didn't know how the points actually connected, but I could sense this connection at a visceral level and also spiritual, emotional, and just somebody that I felt very strongly attracted to. And then, of course, we went to planning an actual date, which almost didn't work out.
Yeah. So we had planned to meet in White Rock for breakfast, and I had something to do beforehand, and so I said, well, we'll connect in the morning, and we'll get the timing just right so that we're there. And so I messaged him and said, okay, this is where I am, and I'm on my way there. And off I went to White Rock, and I parked the car, and I walked around, and no guy. And I am wondering if I'm actually being stood up. So I'm standing on the side of the sidewalk, and this car drives by, and the guy looks and looks again, and I recognize him because I'd been on a few dates with him.
Not me.
Not him. I dated. And I see the guy get to the end of the street and pull into the parking lot, and my phone rings, and he's like, hey, what are you doing in town? It's great to see you. Do you want to have breakfast? And I'm like, okay, do I say yes or do I say no right now? And I said, no, I'm actually meeting somebody.
That's what did it. So we never really set an actual time, which threw me off. So as far as I understood, she was coming from Fleetwood. I calculated how much driving time there was going to be and when I was actually going to leave. So she was actually closer to White Rock than I was, calculating in my head in terms of distance. I was late, so I told her I'm on my way. And I just hustled, got there as quickly as I could, and that was actually a test from the universe for her to see if she was really into me or not.
So apparently I was, because we parted ways about 18 hours later.
It was a long day. A beautiful, beautiful long day.
We went out dancing that night. I took him to meet Andrea. And then he asked at the end of our evening, "Can I stay?"
Unfortunately, that didn't work out, so I went home. I had a wonderful time. Went to Soul Train dancing, and I hadn't danced for quite a long time, so I just fumbled along and pretended to be a very good Black African dancer.
It's actually
I don't
the
have a
first black
dancing
man I met
bone
who
in my
can't
body.
dance. No, he cannot. But he's great for holding the space for Andrea and I to dance. Yeah, he gets drinks and stuff for us like that. So I think maybe we can ask a couple of questions and then we'll go back to.
So one of the things we did is, which I appreciate, is early on, even from our early conversations, is just honest communication. Just say what's there. I learned a lot from this wonderful lady because she was coming straight from that place. Is when we talk, whatever we talk about, just say what's there. There's no judgment. There's no concern on the other side. She'll sit with it if she needs to, and then we can come back and she can have a chance to say what's there.
And
So-
I think that's come from, I dated a lot. I have had 2 marriages in my past. And I was at a point in my life, and I think Chris was too, where we just were not willing to settle for anything. And I wasn't willing, I was at a place where it was either going to be upfront and I was going to be with somebody who really got the essence of me and loved me just the way I was, or I was going to find somebody else. And so I think that's been there for the both of us since the very beginning of the relationship.
Right. So tonight is a bit of an experiment like that. We've prepared questions that neither of us know. So I would try to be as honest in terms of the questions. Early on, I had like 2 questions, and then we went to the park, lay down, and then after a while, I came up with some brilliant questions. So I told her, I just have a bombshell of a question for you, which is going to trip you up.
You're going to let me go first, though, right?
No, you are going to go first. Yeah, that's true. But I think it's a constant practice in our relationship to come to that place where we are comfortable enough to know that the other person will hold space without judging it, without trying to do something with it. They can go away with it and come back, but in the moment of actually hearing it, it's just there. It's just simply what's there. So this is an experiment, and we'll see if it's successful or not. So Jill is going to ask the first question, and
Yeah.
I'll do my best to be in the place of honesty
So,
as much as possible.
so my first question to you is, have you ever been scared in our relationship?
I have been scared of not measuring up. And this has to do mostly with just because of Jill, you have had so much experience in terms of being in a relationship. So for me, it was always, okay, can I really measure up? Because I can tell that there are standards there, and I can tell that there are certain levels of expectation. And my fear, probably, if I can frame it that way, is just falling short, flat like a pancake, and not measuring up. So, and I think I've learned to overcome that and just simply be me and know that if you're okay with who I am, this relationship will survive and thrive, regardless of whatever measuring stick out there. I don't mean that literally. you know, that I may be forced to go up against.
Good, thanks.
All right. My first question for Jill is, this is not it. This is not the one.
We might run out of time, so you better hit
All
your
right, I
best
will.
one first.
I'll do the
Can I just, so I want to just share this first. What he was talking about, and he wrote down these, he had 2 questions, and he's like, I only have 2 questions. And then he comes up with the question, this other question that he's apparently about to ask me. He's like, oh, it's a good question.
All right, this is not it. And here's my here's my question. What's more important to your relationship, having common interests or different interests?
Wow, that's, okay. That's light.
Go for it.
I don't think that one or the other is more important. I think there has to be a mix. So I think what you and there was some basic stuff that was really already there for the 2 of us. We both love to read, we write, we talk a lot about spirituality, we like to have those deep conversations. At the same time, we're both quite ridiculous a lot of times together.
Silly.
Silly, yes. And then I think that both of us as well through the time that we've been together have kind of taken on some of each other's interests as well.
That's true.
And I also think it's really important that we have our own separateness. I think we have a lot less of that than we have of togetherness in the relationship.
Okay, let me just reframe that. So what's more important then? Is it having this common interest?
The common interest for me.
Okay, all right. I asked that question because this is something I've just learned as critical for me in the relationship that I have now with you. Is that's been far more enriching for me, having somebody who is a friend and a lover, but the friendship just really deepens that love connection and those common interests. I've found our relationship, the synergy happens as a result of that. So that's why I asked that. Yeah.
Okay, my turn again, right?
Go for it.
So I think this is kind of what a lot of women want to know. So I'm going to ask it for all of us.
The answer is yes.
Is he kidding? See how good he is?
Go for it.
The question is, what went through your mind the first time you actually saw me in person?
I thought you were smashing. I thought you were beautiful and together and vibrant and energetic. I thought we were a perfect mix and to my cool and cucumber style. So that's exactly what I thought. And and it hasn't changed. I think we complement each other. All right, here's my question for you. Do you want to die first or do you want me to die first? There's no rescue.
Oh boy.
Stop her. I told you.
Oh boy. You know what? I want to go first.
Explain.
I don't want to do this alone. I can't fathom anymore what it would be like to not have you in my life.
Okay. Well, my answer is I want to go first too. So
No.
I've thought it through first. All right. Are we done? Do you have time for one more question?
So no, let's just, I would rather just complete on
All right,
something.
let's wrap
So,
it up. Yeah.
both of us came into this relationship really ready for something big. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned being with you, or the greatest gift that's come out of it, is that I really, truly get to be who I am. There's nothing to hide. I don't hide anything from him. I don't need to pretend. I've been able to share all of my fears with you as they've come up, and you just stand there so steadfastly. And you show up as exactly who you are, with no apologies, no trying to fix it, no nothing. And yet somehow, even in that, we both make each other better. We both hold space for our separate evolutions. And because of that, there is like this third energy that's created around us that people sense and that they are welcomed into. And I think that has been the greatest gift so far in our relationship, is the capacity that we both have to be of service now as a couple, far beyond what we could have imagined being in service as individually.
Yeah, I just want to underscore that it's wonderful to be in a relationship where you feel like you are truly, you arrive as who you are. You know, that there's nothing left back. There's nothing you are hiding. Everything that you are is within that container. It's just so freeing. And it takes somebody else who's willing to accept that. And I'm just grateful that Jill is that person for me.
And I love you.
I love you too, babe.
Jill Prescott and Chris Dube, everyone. 3, 2, 1, jump. Okay.
Models are on display at Freeway Mazda. New Mazda sedans, crossovers, and SUVs surround the facility, and fully loaded versions occupy the floor of the showroom. At Freeway Mazda, 154th Street and 104 Avenue in Surrey. Foodie World presents Philippine Street, featuring a large selection of Filipino foods, from imported non-perishable products to both packaged seafood and locally caught and very much alive. Foodie World is 75,000 square feet of worldly groceries situated in North Richmond.